ReefDudes is sponsored by Brightwell Aquatics and Bulk Reef Supply.
Today we're going to do an unboxing and first look at the GHL Profilux P4. What's going on, guys? Devin from ReefDudes. Now, I've been reefing for a number of years now, and I've used tons and tons of different controllers. I got the Neptune one on my main tank. I've been using the E-Coral one on my smaller tank for the last couple years. And now I'm setting up a brand new tank. I'm doing a big kind of lagoon peninsula style, frag style tank in my office. And I decided it's a perfect excuse to try a brand new controller. This is probably about the only one I haven't tried yet, so kind of just made perfect sense. So I'm actually really stoked to check this one out. About a year ago, GHL announced their Ion Director was in the works, and that's one thing that kind of really piqued my interest with GHL and started digging into them more and more. So yeah, let's do a bit of an unboxing, check this out, and kind of get some first impressions of the controller. All right, so first things inside of the box, we got our calibration solutions. We have some form of a probe that is in German and I cannot read it. pH/redox, so pH or ORP probe. That's another pH and or ORP probe, one of the two. Now this is made in German, so the main instructions are in German. I'm half guessing one side's, yep, so one side's German, one side's English. This will be our conductivity probe. So we got the controller. Feels like we got aluminum sides, fairly thick, strong plastic housing. Touch face, the top part of the GHL. The logo lights up different colors and I can give you kind of status lights. Quick look at the connections on the back. We've got our temp, pH, ORP, and conductivity, power, auxiliary. No idea what the DCF, CCP, and that stuff is. We'll find out in a bit. The pad ports are kind of like a network cable to interlink stuff, and some other kind of telephone style jacks, which are more for different types of sensors. All right, so this is our power brick. Feels like the sides and bottom are aluminum, plastic end caps, and kind of the shiny acrylic-y top panel. We got 6 controllable outlets and a couple more kind of little status connections on the side. I think those are for connecting this to the brain and connecting multiple power bars. There we go, we got a proper guide that tells us what all of the connections are. Measurement and control of pH, water temp, ORP, conductivity, optionally alkalinity, oxygen, relative humidity, air temperature. Built-in features, 32 channel illumination channels. I'm assuming that's kind of like a 0 to 10, or yeah, 6 1 to 10 volt, 64 separately controlled sockets. So that means with those little network pad cables, you can hook up to 64 different kind of things on your chain of control. A couple expansion slots, 4 level sensors, power failure monitoring port, aux port, Metris light bar interface, alarm, visually, acoustically, so that would mean they'd probably flash, make an audible noise, USB, Wi-Fi, web server, client. Nice. Kind of skimmed through some instructions about a few weeks ago, or a month ago, whenever I kind of decided I was going to try this out. And so I haven't really done much yet, and this is my first time plugging it in. So let's plug it in and power it up. And I'm just going to kind of step through a bit of the setup and do some initial thing. I'm not going to fully calibrate the probes and everything. I'm going to wait until I have my tank for that. But just for a bit of a feel for it, let's boot it up and see what happens. Okay, so the light's flashing red, which means it's kind of waiting for its setup. And we're going to open up the GHL app. So this is the GHL Connect for the first time. So we're going to say add device, select your device. So we got the P4, new configuration, access point mode. In order to configure network settings to your P4, you must first activate access point mode, power cycle it, on and off, and click next. Done. So connect to the hotspot for it. Default type in the password starfish. So GHL/dev network. So we'll connect to that one. All right, so now I have the device connected over Wi-Fi, and I'm gonna connect to it locally, just to the hotspot. And join it to my Wi-Fi network. So settings, network. Hopefully my password's right, and device interrupted. Sure. Now we're just gonna go back in and check what its IP is, and then we're gonna add that IP to the GHL Connect app. So we're gonna have our hotspot, so if for some reason our internet's down, we can connect to it directly. And if when everything else is normal, if we're just on a regular Wi-Fi, then we should be able to connect to it through the IP address. Okay, so I'm gonna add new device. We'll add configure because we don't want access point mode. And the address for this, 192.168.1.89. Display name, let's call this P4, or Home P4. Now if I go to Home P4, establishing connection. All right, so we are now connected to this. If I look on the bottom, we have our little Wi-Fi light lit up and blinking, so we know it's talking. Obviously I'm on it. And so first one, we got our temperature graphs, pH, redox, conductivity. So main home screen, feed modes, maintenance modes. If we click into, so we got general. So there is kind of our, set our time zone, set our languages, all that jazz. Illumination, so I guess if we want to, yeah, I don't care about saving those. Processes, so these are different time modes. 1 to 8, so we can have up to 32 different timers. Reminders, so set up reminders. Dosing pumps, extras, stream groups, magnetic stirs. Ooh, that could be fun. Maintenance power cut, capacity keys. So you definitely get a lot of control to tweak things through here. Control sensors, so temperature, pH, redox, conductivity, level sensors. I actually traded a buddy, a Rockfire, for a bunch of old GHL stuff. So it came with some optical sensors, some old power bars, so tons of random stuff. So got some extra goodies I'll be able to add on to this later. Flow sensors, so you got flow sensors, level sensors. Switch channels, so up to 64 of those. Those will be ones we attach our power bars. Display, show always display termination. So you can set whatever sensors, whatever you want on your display. All the 1 to 10 volts, which I've never actually used a 1 to 10 volt device, but I can see it being handy for controlling certain devices. Digital input, so different switches, network, we already set that one up. Programmable logic, okay. So input, so timer, fill water, so tons and tons of different kind of pre-done ones. Rainy days, KH value, water change, general alarm, function, and or NAND, equal, unequal, pause, delayed on, delayed off, cyclic SR flip-flop, XOR. Very, very cool. So looking at this, if you guys know any basic logic, you can actually do a lot of programming with this and make it take into account multiple sensors. So that is cool. So we'll be able to do some advanced stuff with that, which will be pretty sweet. Webcam, email notifications. Nice, I'll set up my email. So yeah, definitely a lot more to play with on this. So I'm pretty stoked for it. So setup was fairly straightforward. Really only took me about 5 minutes or so to get it all added and set up. You can do it via the phone app. You can do it through the web browser on the phone or on a computer, PC, Windows, Apple, Android, whatever. So you got lots of options that way to get it set up. Now, I might try doing a firmware update later just to make sure everything's up to date on it. And with the probes, everything else, I'm just gonna wait until I got the tank. And there's no point pre-calibrating everything that I sit around for a week or two, right? So we'll get that set up once it's actually on there and I figure out how I want things set up and how I want things to go. First impressions, physically, it is built very well. The app or the web interface lets you do a ton of different things with it, which is pretty cool. So we can definitely do some advanced funky stuff. And I like the fact that you can take into account multiple switches or multiple states of things in order to trigger something. So that's a cool way to do it. The and not and ors, like that's some really cool kind of control we can be able to do with it. Yeah, so first impression, so far it looks pretty good. Build quality is awesome on it. I like that you can just add more modules to it if you want, so it's very compact and sleek rather than having tons of different expansion things. Programming is, it seems for the most part, is not, it seems easy enough, but I'm also techie. So if you're technical mind, I think it'll be really easy for you to go through it. But I will do some more kind of little how-to videos and stuff on it as I actually do it myself. So for now, initial thoughts, I think it looks pretty awesome so far. Just a bit of a first look at it, and we will dig into it deeper once I actually set up on the tank. So if you guys enjoyed this, if you did, as always, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next video.